Welcome back to Chow Time Pod. It's your host, Red. Got a video today from the Financial Coffee channel. We're almost there, guys. It's been growing really fast for the last week since I've been asking you guys to sub. I really do appreciate it. We're almost at 100K. Please like, comment, subscribe down below. I really appreciate that. Let's get that chow. It's chow time.
Canal front. I'm done. I just can't. Like, I'm tired of living. I'm literally tired of living. This is ridiculous.
I'm not trying to tell people to off themselves or anything, but if that is the case, what do you have to look forward to in life if you're that tired?
Court 2 days ago, and then the sheriff showed up today. We were packing everything, trying to get out of there. Sheriff showed up today, this morning, as I'm packing up. Won't let me take anything but 3 packs of diapers, not our camper, our dirt bikes, nothing. What the? It's all gonna work out. It's all gonna work out. I don't mind crying on the internet, but I was on the verge of eviction, y'all. I was so worried a few months back if I was gonna have a place to live. I was so behind on my rent. I know people say stuff like this all the time.
Women will always bring you problems, but they will never bring you a solution. Even when things are working just fine, they will create problems and make up some drama. Do you know why? They are agents of chaos. They are only happy unless they are unhappy.
Well, they also want sympathy, and sympathy amongst men. We care. So there's a lot of men that are going to be simping and helping out these women for it.
You guys!
Sometimes I feel like a cold-hearted asshole sometimes, just watching these clips, them crying their eyes out, and me just smiling.
I showed up to this place. There was a listing on Facebook for an apartment.
Okay.
And it said privately rented, like it was for sale by owner. And I've been living in my car for over a year trying to save all this money. And I just sent it all to this person, and I'm at the address. I'm at the address. And they blocked me and took all my money.
Okay, this one, I'll feel bad for this one. People getting scammed left and right on those Facebook things and posts. It's not the greatest thing, nor am I gonna badger them for that. You know, sometimes people are desperate, they're looking for homes, and they don't see these little scams. It sucks. So I will give her some sympathy.
That I've saved for months. Nowhere to go.
It sucks.
I've called the police and they're on their way, and I don't even know what to do. I have all
The police might not be able to do anything for you, girl, because the person that posted all of that might not even be the person that lives at that house. That's the problem.
of our messages screen recorded and everything screenshotted, but she just blocked me on Facebook. I just sent her thousands of dollars that has taken me and my bank now said that it will take 60 days to even start the dispute, and the police said that we can file a police report, but it'll take probably over a year before anything gets done. And the best part is that while I was standing there with the police, the real realtor that I could have bought from showed up with someone else and gave them the keys. I just want to know why, God. Like, what the...
Ouch.
Shaking my head. She needs better acting skills. She was crying during the entire clip, but I didn't see one single tear rolling down her face. And how can she even manage to make herself cry for strangers while being by herself in her car? That's some real mental gymnastics, to be honest with you guys. Well, I guess they are willing to do anything for sympathy and attention.
Why the HOA evicted me? The HOA did not evict me, baby. I got evicted.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I've heard stories of people getting worked with these apartments and things like that. When I was looking for a new place, I was warned very, very staunchly about it. Like, be careful if you're putting deposits down and things like that. So if it was true, give her some sympathy. If she's just saying all these things just for sympathy, what a whore.
For not paying my rent. I didn't pay my rent. Y'all don't have to make up stories. I could tell you myself. I got evicted for not paying my rent. And the 3-day notice that they actually gave me wasn't over to the 12th, and they went and filed an eviction on me on the 10th. I'm going to do I'll take y'all with me to the courthouse. Y'all can look me up. I done had many evictions. It don't scare me.
So the day before Thanksgiving, I received a letter in the mail from my landlord stating that I have 3 months to leave my current apartment that I've been in for the past 8 years. And I am devastated. I was not planning on moving anytime soon, especially with how the rents in New Jersey are right now. They are just incredibly high, and I just don't know how anyone is doing it right now. I got into this apartment and it was $1,500 a month for a 2-bedroom. Now it's $1,700 a month, and granted, my landlords have been gracious and they haven't been charging me every year to
Renew.
increase the rent price, but I'm just like in shock because in 3 months I have to find something, and there's nothing in New Jersey that I can afford. I have a child that goes to school, and I'm like, what am I gonna do? Like, I probably gonna have to move out of New Jersey. This is crazy. I just don't understand how this is happening right now. How is anyone surviving right now? Please let me know. How are you surviving? If you are
And again, as much as we always pick on women on this channel, and so does Financial Coffee, doesn't mean that we don't understand this is happening amongst everybody. There's men that are in this boat too, but there aren't men making videos trying to garner sympathy when these things are happening. Men just take it and try to figure it out, right? That's the difference. And remember, men weren't the ones that said we don't need no men. They were the ones that said they don't need no men. And look at where they're at.
Single parent and in a similar situation like me, how are you doing this? Because I genuinely don't know how I'm going to get past this.
I lived in this car for 457 days. I won't say that my entire experience was perfect. There was a lot of nights I cried a lot, but over time there was one thing that I came to realize, and it was that I had the freedom to make my life whatever I wanted it to be. No matter what situation you're in, living in your car or homeless, the best way we can live our life is always trying to look at the positive. On that note, I'll be showing you how you can choose to live in your car and stop paying rent and have the best, most free life that you could ever possibly imagine.
How can you be so free when the basics of protection and a home is not even there?
Not paying rent, water, electric, internet, and trash bills adds up to be a lot of money that you can save, spend, or travel with. So follow along and I'll show you all the best ways you can
She just been spending it all.
go from being stuck in an apartment to traveling the world in your car or van. I'll be showing you step by step how to upgrade your vehicle and answering any question you could possibly have about living in your car. I have
This girl's gonna make a lot of people homeless.
457 days of experience, and I've had about every circumstance in the book thrown at me.
Women are really something else.
They are.
So she's homeless, can't afford to rent an apartment, and has been living in her car for 457 days. Yet somehow, she wants us to believe that she's winning in life.
Yep.
She is preaching about having the best and most free life. She also claims that she can teach people how they can choose to live in the car. She is talking as if people who live in the car have any kind of choice.
There are some people that do have some kind of choice. I do know some people that chose that life because it's a little bit easier, cheaper life. They're perfectly happy with living that minimal life, but it's not for everybody. Actually, it's not for a lot of people.
I don't think anybody wakes up one day and says, today and from now on, I want to live in my car and I'm so excited about it. Give me a freaking break. She is full of nonsense.
Is it just me, or is Florida getting impossible to live in? I mean, the place is nice. It's beautiful out here. It's very beautiful. The weather's nice.
Okay, that is,
everything looks
does not look like a
nice
cheap
and
spot.
green and everything. I cannot afford to live here.
Renting is so ridiculous. This unit that I signed on in the beginning of the year for that I pay $9.95 has now gone up almost $200. So the new renters coming up are paying $200 more than I am for rent, which is just wild. And don't even get me started on the damn houses. I just saw a house that was $1,800 a month to rent in San Antonio. This is just, it's crazy. Get the
I wish houses were that cheap to rent here in California. Wow.
out of here.
Worst case scenario, because they kept threatening me with like, we're going to send you a notice to quit. We're going to send you a notice to quit. And, you know, I asked them if I could make a payment plan with no money. And when I say no money, you know, see, people say no money, but they have 1,000 here. So there was literally $0 in my account. I had no money to make these payment plans towards getting up to date on my. This has been the year where I've been fighting my anxiety. I've been fighting my worries, and I've been like, you know what, it's gonna work out. And I'm choosing me. And somehow we are at June. This is the last month in my lease. And when I think through it, I still don't understand how
I'm confused that you didn't pay rent for so long. What did you do with all that money that goes to rent? Don't you have anything?
got here. It makes no sense. I'm saying this to the person who is in that space where it's just like, there's literally no way that this is gonna work out. I feel you. I understand.
She wonders how she got there by not paying her rent. Guys, this is exactly why I don't take women seriously. Yeah. Every time they face any kind of adversity, all of a sudden, they are not strong and independent anymore. Nope. They scream for help and cry like babies. Women will always bring you problems, but they will never bring you a solution. Matter of fact, even when things are working just fine, they will create problems and make up some drama.
True.
Do you know why? They are agents of chaos. That's why they hate nice guys and love bad boys. Never, ever let them drag you into the drama. If a woman submits you a problem, and you offer her a solution, but she still criticizes you, this is exactly how you make her shut the hell up. You don't even have to raise your voice. Look her deep into her eyes and ask her calmly, do you have a better solution or a better idea? I promise you, 95% of the time, she won't have any better idea or any better solution. Therefore, she will shut the hell up.
So I pay $2,000 a month for my apartment, but I was seeing that you guys pay like $3,000 for like.
Tell you guys the truth, in California, $3,000 is pretty normal for like a 2-bedroom apartment nowadays, like $2,600 or so. To like a 1-bedroom apartment is maybe $1,850, $2,000 now. It's kind of ridiculous out here.
A 1-bedroom in like the middle of nowhere, Florida. I'm like, wait. Where does the government or whoever decides that get to tell us? Like, and what's so stupid and annoying is that we're gonna pay it.
You have to.
Because there's no other option. Like, correct. Somehow collectively as a society, we have figured out really receiving no more extra pay on how to like pay extra for rent and groceries. Grocery shopping per week literally cost me like $100, probably more. And I eat relatively healthy, so that's probably why. But oh my God, like it's insane. But we have somehow as a society been able to afford everything that's like doubled exponentially in price over the last couple years, but with no pay raise. Really, like maybe a couple hundred, but nothing insane. It's just funny. We're in a simulation.
I am tired of places wanting like $6,000 to $10,000 just to move in. Like, it's ridiculous. You want to move somewhere and you have to pay first month's rent, last month's rent, and a deposit that's the same as rent. So you're basically paying 3 months rent. Let's say you're looking at a place for $3,500. That's a lot of money.
$10,000 right there.
I might as well just buy property. But like, I need somewhere to live until I can do that.
Yeah, they choose to live that strong, independent life and struggle by themselves. When I see a lot of men have roommates, Men are living with 2, 3 men deep in like a 2, 3 bedroom house, taking care of things, living their lives. But women really want to show that they're doing better than men, show that they don't need no man, don't need their parents, and then they choose to struggle. And they struggle a good chunk of their life, and then they go back to their parents anyways, or they're going to go look for a man to need their help anyways. This is the problem that feminism really put women in a bind.
Like, why do you need that much money? And then that's like for a house or like a nice apartment, but if you want to get like a smaller apartment or something that's not as cozy, no lighting, anything like that, then it's like affordable. But I want something nice and cozy with light and room and space. I have a business that makes over $300,000 a year. I myself make over $150,000 a year. Yet I can't rationalize moving into one of these places for $6,500 up front. Like, that's a down payment on a house, dude, or on a...
What are you talking about? What down payment on a house is $6,500? Oh, I guess maybe not in California. I'm California brained. So, but if you're doing that well, $6,500 for a new spot shouldn't be too devastating. You said a business that brings in $300K, you make over $100K. That means you're bringing in over $10K a month.
A property. My brain is breaking. Like, I know it costs so much more to buy a house in the long run, but at the end of the day, like, they're wanting down payments for a house just to rent when you have proof of income, good credit, good background check, good rentals history. Like, why are you asking me for $6,500 to $10,000?
So she wants us...
Because people like you don't seem to have enough money to keep paying rent for a long time.
To believe that she's making $150,000 per year? Yeah, right. But what do I know? Maybe, just maybe, she makes that much money. And if she does...
At $150K, that means she's bringing in about $13,000 almost a month. A little bit less. That's a lot of money.
Why the hell is she complaining about having to pay $6,000 upfront to rent a house? She can afford it, right? Guys, supposedly, women love to complain about everything. Everything. They will never be happy no matter what you do. They are only happy unless they are unhappy. So never stress yourself out in trying to please them, because it will never be enough and they will always ask you for more. So don't even try.
You guys want to hear something crazy? This is what's crazy here. 5 years ago, I was a server, restaurant server, making minimum wage, breaking off my tips, and the house that we got was a 3-bedroom house, $1,200. 5 years later, I am now a nurse. Did not expect inflation to go up like that. Rent is $2,100 at the place we live. Can barely afford rent now. So guess what? Right now, with who the can afford $2,100 if you're working minimum wage? It's impossible, right? And I have 2 kids. Let's add that in there.
Again, this is why you need other people, a man most likely, or at least roommates, other women.
But no. So bottom line, hey, we can't really afford the life that we want to live right now. Nope. So I'm like, everything's going up. What do I have to do? I either need...
If you can't afford the house, the life that you want to live, then you just have to be in survival mode. I loved Shang Wang is one of the comedians I love to watch, and he had a really good joke about this. You know, that when Asians, immigrants, came to the United States, our houses were dingy, dark, or whatever it was. Why? Because survival was the main thing. Thriving and comforts was not a thing for a lot of immigrants. So I was raised in a very not so, I guess, welcoming to be able to have to grow myself to be a top entrepreneur or something, just because everything was about survival. Now people are living in comfort and they've never been in survival mode. And this is why they're struggling with this, because I've always been in survival mode in a sense with my family. Not that we weren't well off, but it's just how my family always lived. Now I do live in a little bit more comfort than I used to, because I used to only rent that one room. Now I do rent a house, but it's you have to be in a position to let yourself thrive. If you're still in that survival mode, get yourself stable in that survival mode first.
To stop complaining and just suck it up, or stop complaining and go back to school. So guess what? I'm going back to school. I don't want to go back to school.
How are you mother not pissed off at the cost of everything right now? So, and then rent. Oh my. I've been looking around to downsizing because I do not own this house. Okay? I do not own this house. It is a 3-bedroom house out in the middle of nowhere. I love it. I've lived here for years, but it's $2,500 a month. I'm having a third child, and I'm like, you know what? I don't think we want to pay this. There's no way we could buy a house, and everybody knows that. So I've been looking at just downgrading, getting rid of a bunch of, just be like, you know what? I wouldn't mind paying less. And then in a couple years when the market gets better,
$2,500 for a 3-bedroom house is pretty good.
or just buy a house, right? Well, I was wrong, because a house literally with 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, basically part of town, $1,500 a month? A month? Or basic.
It's weird because, again, I've been in California a majority of my life. These numbers seem so insignificant to me. I'm like, fuck, $1,500. That's a good deal.
The same amount of money that I'm already paying now for something with like less space, or it's in an apartment and you can't have no pets. You got to have 600 credit score, last month's deposit, $400 administrative fee, non-refundable. And
I wish 600 credit score. People that I applied for here in California required a 720 or a 750 at least on their credit scores. I was like, damn, all right. You only want fucking wealthy people.
Family of 4, so we spend about a little over $1,000 a month on food. And I don't buy bougie food. I make my meals. We don't go out to eat every maybe once in a while because I'm pregnant and I'm like, oh my God, I want that so bad. But it's been weeks since we've had fast food. Like, what the fuck? Something has got to give. I know for a fact I'm not the only one. And this is bull. Like, something needs to change, dude. We can't keep living like this anymore.
So to answer her question, I think we are all pissed off by the price of everything. But hey, what can we do about it? Nothing. We still have to eat. Most people cannot grow their own food. So we all have to go to the grocery store. And for full context, she lives in Oregon. She is complaining about having to pay $1,500 a month for a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom house. That price is pretty much the norm. Even over here in Texas, where rent is cheaper than in many other states, the rent for the same kind of house is about $1,400.
Why are landlords allowed to raise your rent from year to year by $400? I've been living.
Let's see, this is the thing. Insurance goes up on a lot of these renter owners too, and a lot of expenses go up for them too because everything is going up, so they have to charge more. I get the both sides thing, but there is some renters that are just obviously trying to rake you over the coals, but there are some renters that are just trying to cover their bills.
In Massachusetts for 5 years now, and in 5 years my rent has went up about $1,500 or almost $2,000. Why is it legal for people to raise the rent that much? We don't even get raises that high. I'm just trying to understand, when is something gonna be done so that they can stop these predatory landlords from raising rent ridiculous amounts of prices. If you
gotta remember, it's a choice to live there too. If you happen to like the place, man, they're gonna charge you a little bit more. Like even this place, I signed a 1-year lease. And I was like, you know what? Can I get a 2-year lease? And they're like, well, we're willing to give you a 2-year lease, but the second year, we still want to raise your rent by $100 a month. And I'm like, it's better than what they were probably planning, I assume. So
you live in Massachusetts and this is happening to you, let me know what kind of things that you're doing, because I've never in my whole 34 years of living, of life, since I started paying rent, which is like when I was like 20 years old, has rent gone up this much.
I can agree with that.
It used to be like $50, $100, but now they just straight walling. They straight walling, acting like Jobs is giving out raises left and right. It's not like that. So please explain to me, why is this legal?
I mean, the biggest issue is companies like BlackRock buying up so many single family homes. Now that made it so people that want single family homes cannot afford them anymore because they're all bought out. That's the major problem that I see with housing market, right? Because really, there's plenty of houses. Just a lot of them are not vacant. Or sorry, a lot of them are vacant because big major investment firms are buying up these houses and they're not renting them out because they want to charge such outrageous fees. Please like, comment, subscribe down below. I really appreciate that. And I catch you guys next time. Sure.